Doctor Who fans, I am Doctor Who Commentator here to provide you my personal fan commentary on Doctor Who, and today's episode, Ascension of the Cybermen. So, here we are. The introduction for today's episode. Lots of Cyberman parts flying about. I dare not increase the volume any further. Hang on, let me see if maybe I'm just not hearing properly because of this here. Okay, that's better. But yeah, so we've got the lone Cyberman talking here from last week's episode, and of course, and there's a Cyberman head. Never thought we'd see those again, I'll be honest. And right into his eye, into the opening credits. So my opening thoughts on this episode. Whoa boy! It was certainly an action-packed episode. I've rarely seen... It's very rare when we see Doctor Who in quite this much distress, essentially, for lack of a better phrase, to describe the feeling of a show. It's you don't really see the Doctor quite on the back foot quite like this. I mean, everything was shot to high hell. And I'm more curious about this subplot now, because doesn't seem to have really gone anywhere, and I am really confused by it. I mean, as every one of you probably thought, it kind of threw me through where I noticed, oh, they've genuinely not aged, but he has. I wasn't noticing that quite at first. I thought, well, maybe they've sort of aged, but once you get to the part where Brendan is an old man, you're like, oh, they've not aged. But there, you've got the police officer right there, because he aged. So that was obviously the big red herring. But they've obviously dedicated quite a bit of time to this subplot right here. So, God, I actually do wish I could put the volume up a bit more. But unfortunately I can't. I found that's one of the few things preventing this video from being blocked. So yeah, all this time to this, and it's obviously meant to be paying off next week. He's ours. And yes, he's yours. Took you 3 years. Is that not a procedure though? Yeah, I mean, is it? I mean, it said we'll look after him until you find his parents. Is that really normal? Mind you, what year was this? I mean, what year is this supposed to be set? Is another good question. But I mean, is it 1950s or something? Something I would call the midwife? But I suppose the fact that the mother hasn't really aged a bit is sort of a clue, I suppose. And where was this Baraka Stemis guy? He doesn't seem to have appeared. I mean, he's certainly not appeared as disguise. I mean, I bring this up because Sacha Dhawan appears right at the end as the Master, and if anything, I thought he would have appeared in a disguise. That's why they would have, which he named Fuck Out, and that's why they credit him as a Barak Stremis, whatever it is. But I'm getting off the point of this scene here, because they're now on what is left of, I want to say Earth. 7 humans left. Maybe it's not Earth. No, it couldn't have been Earth, but nonetheless. Doctor scanning. Very little humanity left. Only 7. And it does stand to reason it would only be the refugees. Because if you got rid of all the soldiers, what else? Now, if anyone recognizes this actress right here, whose name escapes me, she played a character called Ruby in the Sarah Jane Adventures. So I was surprised to see it back. Well, to be honest, if she came back, I would have actually liked her to reprise her role of Ruby. Or, okay, you know what I mean. Obviously, she can't appear in Sarah Jane Adventures anymore, but I would love for the character to have transferred over to proper Doctor Who, just because I'm not quite sure we've really had many characters from the Sarah Jane Adventures really crossing over, and that would be fun. Especially not big characters that had big story arcs quite like that. Anyway, they're more willing. They've suddenly become very willing to accept her. Well, what else? Yeah, are you? Because she seemed much more in charge than you did. I mean, mind you, technically, I suppose engineers are only in charge in regards to engineering, not command. Necessarily command, rather. A lot of effort clearly went into developing all this part. I mean, because there's so much Cybermen canon involved in it. As Graham's talking about, the suppression of their emotions, that's been taken care of through this device right here. And Yaz is setting up one that's meant to spread gold into the air, which it clogs up their lungs. Yeah, it is. I mean, Adric was aware of this. That's why he took the gold from his badge. Such a shame it didn't work out for him in the end. We ain't got nothing. Nah, they actually pointed out this guy's brother and the fact that he didn't speak. I'll be honest, I thought that meant there was going to be some sort of story arc involving him, but there was going to be some big point to his inclusion. No. Just killed him off. Right there. Nothing. That was a surprise, if nothing else. Excuse me. And like he's saying, they're just refugees, not soldiers. What else are they supposed to do? Some men took everything. 'Cause that's what they do. They're cybermen. Exactly. You care. That is a good thing. Oh, here they come. How many are there? Well, technically only 3. That was the weird thing. That's all that seemed to be left. Even though there were 2 ships. Yes? I'll be honest, this effect coming up, this kinda just looked silly. I mean, one, the fact that it's rubbish CGI, which is weird coming from Deneg, again, but 2, because floating Cyberman heads. Seriously, could this technologically advanced race, and they couldn't come up with a drone better than that, better looking than that. Admittedly, it does come across, maybe the idea is supposed to be that... Actually, no, it doesn't. Sorry, I thought maybe the Cybermen lost so much resources that they were just making do with what was left of the bodies, but no, when you consider that advanced fleet that were in the container, in the cargo ships, it doesn't quite make much sense. And here we are, lots of people dying. Okay, that coat. The coat that woman was wearing. If you've been watching the Omega Files, I thought, along with others, that was meant to be a Cyberman. If she was wearing a Cyberman jacket or something. But obviously not. That's what it was. He's dead. Get to the ship. That's the usual phrase in science fiction like this, isn't it? Yeah, the advance guy. So, there's gonna be a... well, there's gonna be more on the way. And it was just 3. But 3 is enough, as we see. I'm still a bit curious. When if it was 2 ships that were coming, why were there only 3 of them? Especially when it was clear it required 2 people, or 2 Cybermen rather, to pilot 1 ship. I mean, had 5. Did they only have 2 of the cyber suits left? I mean, seriously, it just doesn't make. If you had 5 of them, if you had 4 cyber suits, then that would have all made sense. But no, you had 2 ships come in. All I'm thinking is, where are the other 2? You could have the lone Cyberman as the cyber leader, that's fine. Makes perfect sense that he'd be commanding both of them, and he'd be on one of them. But you need more Cybermen. You clearly needed more Cybermen to pilot those things. Yeah, sounding tough. But didn't last. Oh dear. Yep, or not. All humans will be deleted. Just the old-fashioned phrase. Delete, delete, delete. Like a proper commander, just giving the order, you shoot there. Because I can't shoot anything with this. Now here's the bit. Once they got separated, I was like, oh boy. This is how Ryan is gonna be bumped off, isn't it? Because let's face it, we know he's gonna get bumped off at this point. It's inevitable. Well, either he's gonna be killed or he's gonna leave. Something's gonna happen. Just kill companions. Come on. There's nothing wrong with killing companions. I mean, yeah, don't do it all the time. It has to be rare. But don't build everything like you're gonna kill them and they're not gonna die. Yep. Yes, of course the others did. We always know that's gonna happen. Yep. Shelter. Oh, really taking charge. Yep, too late. And people thought that maybe she was another doctor. I don't think she is. It doesn't seem like it. Interesting carousel version of a ship. Sure, I've seen that kind of design in Doctor Who before Classic series even. Kind of thinking of Galaxy 4 with I want to say the Dravens, but that's probably not their name. Hang on. Should always have this handy whenever I'm talking stuff like this. Keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. Galaxy 4, Galaxy 4, Galaxy 4. Galaxy 4. Galaxy 4. Galaxy 4. Galaxy 4. Boom. No, you're here. I do love how creepy he is. Oh yeah, the Dravens. I was right. And here he is, sacrificing himself for the cause. You're old, you need to survive. But didn't really work out, did it? Yep. Oh, the weapon works now. I completely forgot about that. Why are those cyber summons still existing, though? I mean, again, given the Cybermen's incessant need to upgrade, why would they use such inferior models? Unless they're making like the war between the Khalids and the Fals, and they're going backwards in their weapons. It's so rare. We have never quite seen a Cyberman like this before. The closest thing is Earthshock. Run. Always the appropriate face. Yes, look down. That's always appropriate. Don't run. When someone throws something at you, you run. Especially in a war. Okay, admittedly not exactly a war right now, but still. Running. More running. Oh, yes, she did. I've noticed that door opening, and I was curious. I missed it at first, that pointing the sonic screwdriver. Yeah. Hotwire hyperdrive. Just like Star Wars hyperdrive. Yep. Whoa! Taking charge here. But of course, he is faster. There's a bit later where the Doctor notes how good he is at this, and he talks about how his father taught him how to fight off Cybermen. I must be said, at that point I was thinking, oh wait, is he the Master? Is he the Master taking yet another regeneration? But I guess not. And here we are, once again with this subplot, and yeah. She's not quite aged, they've just changed her hair and that's it, and there's the dad, again not quite aged. So you don't really think about it initially, but yeah, there it is. But he's the only one who looks like he's aged, but that's just from the hair. What qualifications did he get to be a police officer? There's not really much to talk about here. I think it's because it's really one that doesn't really have anything at this point. But of course that is the point. Want to make a difference in the world. Everyone does, mate. Yeah, with him, Dave. Oh, you were an annoying little turd. Still a baby in a basket. I was going to say, you don't really get that now, but then again, there was a thing in the news recently. So, really love that interior of the ship, actually. It takes a lot of attention to detail. I mean, just the fact that they've actually put it on a rotating wheel, that's actually quite impressive. That they've gone through that attention to detail. Yes, here we go. Two people arguing. Again, all you need. And I'm struggling to think of something else to say again. Again, this is all to keep my video from being blocked. Oh yes, the gateway. I'll be honest, once I saw the gateway, I was like, okay, we already know the next episode is the Timeless Children. It's too hot. And I think we're kind of getting an idea of how the Time Lords actually came about. Okay. I'm not great at making predictions. I'm not got the greatest foresight. But given where things seem to be going, I'm gonna somewhat call it the Gallifreyans, and by contrast, the Time Lords are actually humans. And that's the reality. Time Lord society has been built completely on a lie. And it was actually built on humans. Yeah. Like she was saying right there, that at this point I was thinking maybe he's the master in another regeneration. But obviously not. But yeah, I am beginning to think that they're just humans. I mean, we already saw Amy Pond's daughter, River Song, as it turned out. She became a Time Lord because she was born on something. I can't remember it anymore, but there was a certain energy that they were exposed to that made them Time Lords. And his doctor... I am really loving Jodie's performance in this. I mean, last series, she didn't really have much of an opportunity to be tough because it was always undermined by something she'd say later. But now, oh, she's really good. You actually do feel the anger in her expression, in her voice. And again, we now have a confirmation in this scene that he actually did volunteer to be converted, which you've not really heard about with Cybermen before, and does make you think there have got to be people that messed up, surely. There are people who will gladly... I mean, look at people with tattoos and body piercings. I mean, people always want to decorate their bodies in some way. Well, tattoos and body piercings are one thing, but there are people who are actively changing the entire shapes of their body just to look different, look unique, stand out. I mean, I saw a documentary about a man who tried to technically turn himself into a cat. Which is weird. Yeah. So he hates himself. All because he doesn't have the emotional inhibitor. Well, you are a doctor. Again, the Siberian. So that thing has really supposedly given him a lot of knowledge, and so he didn't know about the ship. But of course he's now so that is interesting. So he has seen the future then? Well, I suppose it would. I mean, he's a time traveller. That is essentially what they're talking about. Okay, and now this thing. Was he not issued with a gun? I mean, surely at that time, yeah, handguns were legal in the British colonies, surely. So, okay, I I'm assuming Ireland was very much part of the British colonies at this point. I don't know. But they must have been allowed a handgun. It would seem odd to not be allowed. No one could survive a fall like that. Initially I thought he was a bit stupid because calling him, because of course he was dead. And then that happened. In fact, it almost Captain Jack like way. You just fell off a cliff, mate. It's always where he went. And now they brought the doctor in. He's healthy. Admittedly, I probably should have thought something when I realised the dad seemed to be coming in every time. But no one questions. And again, I should have questioned the fact that she hasn't aged. Neither of them have aged. He's still living with his parents. So am I, but that was a different time. Hey, they're alive. Yeah, they're alive, big burst of energy, and they're gone. Hopefully they're safe. Yeah, survive. Yeah, she's right. In space. That's where you are. Yeah, no one really cares about your backstories. Because you're not that interesting. And let's face it, you're not going to be that important going forward, are we? Are you? Yeah, good question, given there's no sound in space. Alright, maybe echoing through the inside of the ship, maybe. I don't know the exact science. But it's always the biggest problem with science fiction, in that they're always portraying the idea that there's sound in space, and of course there isn't. One of the few science fictions to really highlight that was Firefly. Such a shame that lasted such a short time. The Cyberman Graveyard. And I was somewhat struggling to analyse which Cybermen those were, to be honest. I couldn't tell if they were the Cybermen or the newer Iron Man type Cybermen. And the Cyberman carrier craft, which kind of looked, I'll be honest, I thought that was cut in half or something, because it didn't quite look right. But I don't know now. It obviously was capable of moving. Yeah, docking bay, get in there. Yeah, burst of acceleration, even life support. Yep, you can get them. Yep, technically he's right. If you just keep preserving, then you're just really gonna die slowly. Yep, every last bit. Everything down. And get onto the ship where there's supposedly lots of life support. I have to say supposedly because I'm thinking, surely Cybermen don't need air to breathe. But, or do they? Okay, I suppose if the whole point of why they're allergic to gold is because the gold clogs up their lungs, then alright, maybe they do still need to breathe. But if that would be true, why do they have such a have a whole mask over their face and a light now for where they should be taking an air? Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe the respiratory system is routed through a different parts of their body, I don't know. You know, I'm very tired today. Hey, they're alive! And on a CGI vessel. Sorry, it's just rubbish. Oh, sorry, Deneg, you are much better than this. And the building itself, I'm assuming that's a warehouse of some kind in reality? I have no idea. Kinda looks like a warehouse. Oh, they're there. And see, 2 cybermen. It required 2 cybermen to pilot it, but there were 2 ships there. The Siberian sees all. So that is interesting. It's the site of their greatest defeat. That I do find quite interesting. The idea that that's their greatest defeat. Now I was curious that this was supposed to be an entirely other planet, right? But they haven't exactly stated what the planet is. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I looked at that shore and I thought, is that not the same cliff edge we just saw? And is there probably a point to that? I don't know. Ooh, Ryan looks tired. Didn't notice that before. Well, there are 2 humans and 1 child there. No, you're gonna land it badly. To be honest, it looks like the cliff edge has been completely hollowed out, somewhat. See all those pipelines. Okay, maybe not a warehouse, but a hydropower plant at least. Somewhere along those lines. What about you? Yeah, come a long way. Okay, so how do they know where cyber control should be? He knows the layout of a Cyberman ship quite too well. Convenience for the plot, I know. I always have to remind myself sometimes, Doctor Who is for kids, really. It's always made for children and, as time went on, families, and thank goodness for Torchwood. I was actually talking to some of the guys at the Meg Files yesterday and bringing up the fact that Torchwood is now available on the iPlayer. And apparently there's a rumour going about that the reason they're doing that is because they're bringing it back. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. Especially because I have no idea how old Eve Miles is, but I know it was kind of a thing. I do remember it was definitely a thing that they didn't want any of the characters to live past 35. And I'm pretty sure Eve is over 35. Tabs. Pounds on Graham. Trying to be Graham.
You know, I'm starting to think there's a good chance of surviving today.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll survive. And there's a big bolting scary door that they're opening. So Cockney rhyming slang did not survive. Come to think of it, how far in the future is this? Because this is effectively saying that English did survive as a language, but wouldn't language have almost completely changed in some way? I'm just thinking because of, I remember watching on QI years ago that it was highlighting that it's believed that the as we move on, the universal language will be a language called Panglish. I don't know how they know that, but of course language is something that has to change. But here we are. The Cybermen. There it is. The new Cybermen. I really wish I could get a better profile look of that so that I get detail of that thing. But it's a nice amalgamation of various Cybermen over the years. And kind of interesting, she referred to it as warrior class. And I thought, well, what the hell were the others then? Either way, lots and lots of Cybermen. Which is always the same, really. Whenever there's a Cyberman story, there's always going to be tons of them. Always in tombs in some manner. Which, incidentally, Tomb of the Cybermen is one of the stories Matt Smith actually watched to get a vague idea, get an idea of Doctor Who. And Patrick Troughton became one of his favourite doctors. In fact, he was trying to emulate him a bit with his Doctor. Yes. 3. Well, do believe it. Trouble is, like I said, 2 of them are human, one's a Time Lord. Yeah. Just him. Only one. Mind the mess.
So you fought in the war?
Yes. Fought.
Then I was captured and held in a human internment camp for processing. I was one of the lucky
Internment camp.
who got away.
I was just looking at a video recently. I can't remember if internment camp or death camps are the same thing, and I'm just curious if they've got the meaning right. I'm just, don't even think about it. That's what you really get from this. Don't even think about it.
Helped everyone else through the battle. And then because I'm an idiot.
Yes, you're an idiot. You stayed behind. What a foolish but brave thing to do. I know I play with my beard a lot. Sorry, I shouldn't do that, but anyone who has a beard, no, it's just so nice. What's true? Oh yes. Yes, the gateway. You can get out. Or at least you're meant to. Oh. Yes, trying to tell you something. Again, they seem to know cyber language quite well. This is literally nowhere to go. Up a creek without a paddle. Leg it! Yeah, I think they kind of got that. Yes! Close the doors! Luckily, they're not going to be interested in you right now. I was just noticing how much that cyber leader actually isn't really moving like a cyberman per se. But I guess that's the point, he's not been fully converted, so he's a bit more human. I just know that because all the actors who play cybermen are given a lot of training on how to actually walk. Well, all of them are. I can't remember the name of the stunt coordinator now. And now he has a tomb of them. I'm still a bit confused because whenever they introduce a new Cyberman, my impression is that this is going to replace those previous units, but the previous one, but it doesn't look like that's the idea. They do seem to just be intent on keeping the old ones now. Guys, BBC, Doctor Who team, I'm really okay with you making change to designs. Honestly, I'm one of the few people who really did not mind the multicolored Daleks. I thought they were fine. I understand you have to have change sometimes. And instead they got rid of them, and they not go forward with anything new. They just went back with looked back and brought very classic Daleks in, which is fun. No denying that. Still. So he's woken him up. But this literally made no sense. What? Why on earth are they doing that? That's not making any sense. Is it going to be revealed next week? Because if so, I really want to know what's going on. And that's where the gate is, apparently. Seen people go through. You ever kind of wonder where you were sending them? No, guess you wouldn't. Why would you? Oh, fascinating. So, like a motion detector. Responds to proximity. Closer. Closer. There it is. At this point, I kind of knew it was going to be Gallifrey. I mean, just the colour alone, we were seeing that in the whole Timeless Child bit. Ooh, huge. Only way out of this galaxy. And here we are, now we have Brendan. Peaceful retirement. And of course, completely new characters this time. But, hey. His gold watch. Well, technically his gold clock, but still. Just as he's finally leaving. And there they are. That did surprise me. They were still young.
Would you mind coming with us to the back office?
Yeah, back office. So this is where you know something's going on. But now it's leaving you with a lot more questions than answers. Just what the bloody hell was this subplot all about? And is it not going to be explained till... Are they going to explain it next week? Because we got a guy who apparently can't die. That's all. But he can age.
We have to get rid of everything, I'm afraid. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
I won't remember it.
Well, they're killing him. Or at least that's the idea. I mean, at first I thought maybe Brendan was the Cyberman, the cyber leader, but no, he's way too old now. I just really want to know where that was going. Beeper, patience. Oh, here they are. They're alive. And that CGI is still rubbish. What is up with Deneg? Maybe they can do better. But this is of course a very classic way of bringing in the Cybermen. But what were you just... Why are they obeying you after you just did... to some of those Cybermen? I don't get that. And they're gonna flush you out. God, good shot. It's certainly better than what they tried in Earthshock. I remember the time in Earthshock where they tried to make it look like there was an army coming in. They just split the footage 3 ways and it looked rubbish. Honestly, I thought the idea was meant to be that they were coming down a mirror or something. So, finally got in contact with the doctor now, and this is a very... How on earth are they going to get out of this one situation? No way they can. Separated from the TARDIS, separated from the Doctor. There's no way they can survive. Oh, something's coming through. What is that? Gallifrey. Destroyed. After the Master blew it up. And it seems like this is the point where the Master has just blown it up. They're through. Firing. Well, he might be able to explain.
It's a good entrance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, suppose.
Be afraid, Doctor.
Whoa, be very afraid.
Everything is about to change.
Yeah, which does really make me excited for next week. So I have been Doctor Who commentator. I am also a regular contributor to the Omega Files. Thanks for listening to this me ramble on. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed me rambling trying to find ways to just say something so this doesn't get blocked. So, and with that, we're now going into the next week trailer. So there's Gallifrey, the Cybermen. Nope. No chance. So, and now there she is with the Master. This looks like it's going to be a very different confrontation. They call for Gallifrey. Oof. This'll be good. Goodbye.